a hot minute, so I'm going to wait for a couple of people to jump on. If they do, yeah, it's been a long time since I've had done a live, or it feels like it's only been 3 weeks to be fair, but man, a lot has happened in the last 3 weeks. A lot has happened in the last 6 months, and I've got 40 minutes. I'm actually in Kuala Lumpur at the moment, getting a cab to the airport, and I thought it'd be a perfect time to give everyone an update on what's been happening with Jimmy at My Online Guy. So where do I start? Okay, so we're traveling full time as a family, wife, kids, and myself. We're traveling full time as a family for the next year. We already started the trip. We're in KL at the moment. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happened behind the scenes in the last 8 months to make that happen. But we've been out of Australia now for a month, and I'm actually heading back to Australia at the moment for a conference. So so I'm in KL at the moment, traveling back to Australia. So guys, leave your comments in there. I'll answer any questions as they pop up if there is any. But yeah, we're in KL at the moment. It's been good. Been really enjoying the trip and spending more time with the family, like really enjoying it. And it's just what we needed, to be fair. Sometimes you've got to invest in experiences, in life experiences, and put money second, because to be able to do this trip, we really downsized the agency a lot to make it so that this trip was even possible to do. So went from being a 7-figure agency to significantly less, but our life is so much better for it, and we probably should have done it sooner. So to catch you up on what's been happening, basically the last 3 weeks I haven't been making any lives, which I apologize for, but I should have time to do them now. So what has been happening in the last, why does this keep moving? What's been happening in the last few months, last 3 weeks, is I've been working on a presentation. So about 5 months ago, I got invited to speak at the Digital Marketers Australia conference, which is where I'm heading to now, from KL, heading to Melbourne for the DMA, Digital Marketers Australia conference, which I'm talking at, and then I'm heading back to KL to meet up with the family, and then we'll continue on our journey to Penang and Ipoh. But yeah, got invited to talk to the DMA conference, which is awesome. It's been sort of a bucket list goal for me to talk, because the DMA is actually where I got my break, to be fair. So I owe a lot to Steve and the DMA conference, and it's nice to give back. So going to talk in that. So I've seriously spent 100 to 200 hours working on my presentation. So that's where all of my time has gone lately, is this presentation, and making sure that this presentation is everything it needed to be, to make sure that people got value out of the 40 minutes they're going to be spending with me. So basically the talk I'm doing is on the path to scalability. So I do a bit of a post-mortem on My Online Guy 1.0, and then what we did to be able to go on a trip like this, which I thought was a pretty good novel ideas. And I give some concepts and ideas on how we grew so quickly as a marketing agency. So people are going to be hopefully enjoying that. But that's been consuming a lot of my time, but it's done now. So I'm going to have more time to commit back to you guys on the My Online Guy channel, and more time to commit to just getting back to some normality, because seriously, I've been waking up, doing the presentation, going to bed, waking up, doing the presentation, going to bed for like the last 2 weeks. And so I'm glad it's done, but it's not done until I obviously do the talk itself. But yeah, that's basically what's been happening with me and the My Online Guy. My Online Guy itself still going, still running smoothly. Cam's still with us. You would have seen that we hired the video quality that's coming out of My Online Guy is pretty good at the moment. It's because we hired an editor, video editor, and he's doing an absolutely amazing job. If Miko's watching this, awesome. Thank you for all the efforts you're putting in. Cam has been carrying pretty much all the burden of the agency for the last, or Pauline, I should say too. Pauline and Cam have been pretty much carrying all the burden of the agency for the last, 3 months. So thank you to those guys. But yeah, you should be seeing me more regularly. Like I said, I have a bit of free time now. I'm going to start to plan out what comes next, what content I'm going to produce, to make sure we're continuing to provide value to everyone. So let's talk a little bit about the shift that we made as an agency. So we went from being a big agency with 14 people to a little itty bitty agency again. But still maintaining the essence of what we did, but being able to do, we've been working a lot on our automation and productization to make it so we can do more with less. That's how we've been able to get into this position. So, like I said, been traveling now for a month. We're away for a year, and the only reason we're been able to do that is because about 8 months ago, Pauline, myself, and Cam sat down and decided that we need to change the agency to be able to support this trip, because Pauline and I really wanted to go. Mainly, we both wanted to go, but the agency as well was getting big, and it was getting pretty hard to manage just with our limited business skill set. So yeah, so the last 8 months we've been working really hard to downsize the agency and make it more efficient and productized, which has worked really well because it's a pretty lean, mean powerhouse now, which is awesome, which is where you want to be. But it was a lot of planning, a lot of work, and a lot of effort, but we got there. And now the agency ticks along. We're still active in it. We're still working every day. We're still supporting our clients. We're still doing the, in the trenches, so to speak. But we're also prioritizing and investing in our family and investing in experiences, because look, let's be fair, no one lives forever, and tomorrow you could wake up, I could get on this plane and it could, touch wood, it could go down, right? At least having this time and spending this time making experiences with my children, I feel like at this point in my life is more important than a business, and having a massive business like we did. The agency, my online guy, we got pretty big, but we were spending no time with our family. It was stressful, and we just decided, Polly and I, about 8 months ago, that it was time to start spending more time as a family, because, like I said, you don't know how long you're on this earth for, and tomorrow you could not be here. So you've got to try and make the most of the time you have. And the agency has always just been a vehicle to be able to do that. And then, a nice positive side effect of us being so passionate about it is our clients get the positive side effects of that. But ultimately, we built this business to support the lifestyle that we wanted. And then we moved away from that for a bit because we were chasing the money. And the money was good, but it didn't support our lifestyle, which is fundamentally what we aimed to do when we started. So yeah, fast forward to where we are now. We've been on the road for a month, just traveling as a family. We're in KL at the moment. We're going to go to Ipoh next. So Ipoh is just out of Kuala Lumpur, and then we're going to go over to Penang for about 10, 11 days, and then we're off to Kuching in East Malaysia, which we've been before, and it's such a beautiful place. And then we'll probably head to Kota Kinabalu, which is in East Malaysia as well, and then we'll probably head to the Philippines next. But we intend to be away for a year, and we're going to basically go all over Asia. We're probably going to go from Philippines, we're probably going to go to Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and then, touch wood, maybe we might even get into South Korea and China. But yeah, it's life's pretty good at the minute. But yeah, looking forward to this talk. It's sort of an end of an era. Thank you again, Steve, if you're watching this. Thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to talk. This has been a bucket list goal of my talk at the DMA since started the agency. Looking forward to it. Nervous as hell. Got to try and memorize my talk. I've got the written version of it. I've got an 8-hour stopover in Singapore, so that's going to be my time to practice the talk. But I seriously have spent about 100 to 200 hours on it, so it's been pretty wild. But yeah, been good. All right, guys, I'm going to finish this up. Thanks for tuning in. It's back on the lives. I'm going to do some more. You should be seeing my head more regularly on my. And if you haven't added us yet, go and add the Moth family. Who we got here? Oh, Claire. Hey, Claire. Hopefully Deliverance is going really well for you guys. It looks like the website's working well. Thank you so much. Hopefully you're tuning in to the other channel we have, which is the Moth family, which is where we're documenting our travels. Had some really good traction with that from a marketing perspective too. Just been documenting the places we've been visiting, more like guides. And yeah, we've got almost 500 subscribers now. And really the main reason we're doing that channel is to create like a living, breathing document of this trip, so that when we're done with it and we're back at the grind, the kids and myself and Pauline we can sit down and watch the adventures we had. And it's taken time, effort, and money. To be fair, it's not a cheap exercise to document your journey like this, but I feel like it's a worthwhile investment to give some tangible, real touchy-feely to what we're doing, so that when the kids are older, they can go, oh, actually, I got that wanderlust again. I do remember those trips that we went on as a kid, because obviously traveling around like this isn't cheap. It's cheap, to be fair. It's cheaper than Australia, a lot cheaper than Australia. You know, living in Southeast Asia is a lot cheaper than living in Australia at the moment, but it's just, it's a different type of living. It's a lot more on the fly, ad hoc, a lot more sleepless nights. But I am absolutely loving every bit of it, because I've noticed the boys especially. Right, Liam, my oldest child, has always been close to me. He's always been, dad's boy. Riley, my youngest, I really felt like in the last year before we left, he was starting to get less attached to me. He was a lot different to Liam. I understand they got different personalities, but he was a lot less attached. He was always attached to Mum. When I wanted to hold his hand and talk to him and stuff, he would just fob me off. Since we've been on this trip, and this is one of the main reasons I really think everyone should go on a big trip like this at some point, whether it's a big lap or, Asia or wherever, just, get an extended period of time, is that Riley has gotten a lot closer to me than what we were in Australia. And I've noticed it. I'm very conscious of it. And yeah, he's gotten way closer. And Liam's we've all gotten closer to each other. Pauline, myself as a married couple, the kids to us, Liam to Mum, Riley to me. We've gotten closer because we're spending way more time together. We're literally spending 24 hours a day as a family unit, and and I'm slowing down. I'm smelling the roses, so to speak, and I'm like tiptoeing through the daisies as opposed to running through them, and spending way more time with them. Because that's the other thing too, is like they're at that golden age. They're 6 and 8, so they're at that age where they are awesome to be around, and they're not going to be this age forever. I want them. I want to get to I want to do this trip now while they're young, so that when they're 14 and 15 and want to spread their wings and spend less time with us, Pauline and me as a husband, as a mum and dad, have gotten our fill. We don't need to smother them, because it's like, well, we've actually spent so much time with them. We've gotten what we need as parents from our children, from a self-fulfilling, fulfilling that sort of mum and dad sort of thing. So when they're 14, 15 and don't want to spend as much time with us, it's going to be okay. That's the other reason we did this trip, is because while they're this age now, we can fill our cup. And then when they're 14, 15 and don't want to spend much time with us, we can let them run free and do what they want to do. Because we can always go back and go, well, we spent some quality time together as a family. We don't need to make up for lost time. Yeah, so that's a really big reason we did it. Our website's bringing heaps of leads, so much work. Thanks. Of course, Claire, it's a great website. I'm glad we were involved in that process. Claire's website, if you want to have a look, it's Deliverance Carpet Cleaning. She does carpet cleaning, and her and her husband do carpet cleaning in Mandurah. Have a look at their website. It's a great example of what you don't need to overcomplicate things. So their website's rudimentary, compared to some we've done. It's one page, but it has everything it needs on there, and it's designed to convert. And like Claire's saying, she's seen the results of that. So sometimes you don't need to overcomplicate and reinvent the wheel. Claire put her trust in us, and we got the result, which is awesome. But I'm about to hit the airport, guys, so I will catch, probably the next time I see you all, I will be sitting in Melbourne. I'm going to be documenting my journey through the DMA, so you guys are going to get a front row seat in the back, and sort of behind the scenes of a big conference, because like I said, I'm talking, so you're going to see what others don't get to see. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy all that. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll catch you all